Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm bringing you a little bit of a different type of video from my channel. I'm actually going to be taking a look and reviewing and giving my own personal reflections on the new Battlefront 2 game, which was released I think a little bit over a month ago. I think it was like a little bit under a month, excuse me. I think it was November 17th, I want to say. And this game's got a lot of bad rep. There's a lot of stuff going on with the game in terms of microtransactions and everything like that. Today I'm going to try and bring you the most unbiased kind of look at it. But it should be noted that I am a huge Star Wars fan, so that might affect my opinion, I guess, a little bit. But like I said before, I'm going to try and remain as unbiased as I can. I'm going to try and highlight some really good things about the game and some also things that they need to improve. So yeah, let's get started. So guys, in the background right now, this is actually some gameplay from the map Kashyyyk, which is actually probably my favorite, maybe top 2 map in the game. I think it's really, really nice. You guys can see here the really awesome detail and graphics on this. I'm actually really fortunate enough to have like a nice computer where I'm able to afford to run the game at like a high quality, which is super awesome. But really, we're not going to be talking about performance-wise. We're actually going to be talking about a few different things. That's going to be the campaign, microtransactions, and a few other things that are really like kind of like the main topics about the Battlefront 2 game. So guys, the first thing I want to address in this video is actually going to be about the microtransactions, and this is probably one of the most talked about, debated topics for Battlefront 2. Pretty much what a microtransaction is, for those of you who do not know what they are, pretty much you can trade in real money for in-game items that will ultimately give you a form of an edge over the other players. So in an essence, it's a pay to win. What that means is you pay money and you get these star cards, and star cards like perks, I guess you could say, and pretty much the more star cards you get, the more money you get. You can upgrade them and you can get a considerable advantage over the cards. I think the max like advantage that a card can give you is about 25% more damage. Now I'm not sure about that. That's only to my knowledge right now, but that's really kind of the only advantage that can give you. Now in terms of microtransactions, in my opinion, I'm not for them, but I'm not against them. It's kind of a little bit of a really kind of unclear water between them. Pretty much my thoughts on microtransactions are I don't support them. I don't support the idea of paying to get an edge over your opponents. But on the other hand, I do see why EA does this. EA is a company. The developers, the technicians, everybody who goes into the creation of Battlefront 2, they are a company. There are people who have to make a living. And there's a lot of people who go into making a game like Battlefront 2. And the $60 you spend, a large majority of that goes to Origin. Origin is the platform which you can buy the game off of. I think it's a large percent of that money goes to Origin, and then the whatever percent they have left goes to EA. And just you can think about how little money those really kind of bottom level people get, and the microtransactions are a great way to earn money. It allows for people to buy stuff which gives you an edge over your opponents, which obviously is a good thing if you're that person buying it, not so much a good thing if you are someone on the other end of it. But when it comes down to it, it's another way to make money. And now people say it's greedy, although I really don't think so. They have to make money, they have to make a living, they have to make enough money to sustain themselves. They can't do this for free. As much as they probably would like to do everything for free and still be like millionaires, it's not a reality. It can't possibly be a reality in today's world. So the microtransactions, like I said before, guys, a very hot debated thing. In my opinion, I don't support them, but I do acknowledge them, and I do realize the reason why EA is doing it. Now, the microtransactions are not in the game as of the filming of this video, but it is coming soon. I'm pretty sure in one of the new updates coming very soon to the game. So that's kind of my deal on microtransactions. The next thing I want to kind of talk about is the campaign. The campaign, I gotta be honest with you, is the #1 reason why I bought this game. It's been a long time since we've had a Star Wars Battlefront campaign. I used to be a huge fan, I still am a huge fan of the older Battlefront PC games, and like the ones I played on GameCube and stuff like that. So I'm a little nostalgic when it comes to playing Star Wars campaigns. And again, like the microtransactions, I really am mixed in reviews and what I think about the campaign. Spoiler alert, guys, ahead, I'm going to be revealing some little of the campaign. It's not going to be anything too crucial to the story. Hopefully not. I'm just kind of saying this just in case I slip up at a point. Now, campaign is short. Sweet and simple. It's a very short campaign, and I do acknowledge the fact that it is short, and I realize why it's short. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is mainly a multiplayer game. There's Galactic Assault, there's Starfighter Assault, or Conquest, whatever it's called. You have mini-game modes like Heroes vs. Villains, and then small 8v8 games, stuff like that. So I can realize why the campaign isn't as long as it should be, because it's such a multiplayer, I guess, emphasized game. For that being said, I do wish the campaign was longer. I would have really liked to sacrifice some of the multiplayer options for a longer campaign. You start off the campaign as Iden Versio. She is like this uber diehard diehard Imperial trooper. She's like a Navy SEAL for the Empire, and basically you start out on the Battle of Endor, and you see the Death Star 2 blow up, and it kind of takes her on this journey throughout the Empire, and she eventually learns of how wrong the Empire is, and she eventually does go to the Rebel side. And actually, the last mission in the campaign is the Battle of Jakku, which is pretty much like the downfall of the Empire. So in terms of a storyline and in terms of action and entertainment, the campaign is really well built. It's got a lot of features. The maps are great. The AI, there's no noticeable problems with the campaign, at least from my personal experiences. So in terms of that, everything from character development to graphics to playability, I think the campaign is really well made. The only thing I hate about it is that it's not long enough. I feel like from the time that you started the campaign on Endor to the time that you finished it on Jakku was such a short span. There's only a handful of missions, and like I said before, guys, I acknowledge the fact of why they couldn't make a campaign much larger than it is now. But again, it's kind of just something that I really would have liked to see in the Battlefront 2 game. So next, guys, let's talk about multiplayer. Multiplayer, like I said before, is the main thing about Battlefront 2, and it is, again, one of the things that I think is kind of a mixed review. I can't really get a good grasp on it. As of the time I'm making this video, actually there's a lot of server lag going on between every single EA server that I've ever played on. This is obviously just a server wide. This isn't the game itself. This is just Origin or EA and their problems with the server and the latency. So I really can't blame the game for it, but it really has diminished my enjoyment of the game. Obviously, because I don't like playing with lag. I don't like playing like with a really large latency, and that kind of just takes away the fun aspect of the game. But other than that, guys, I mean, the multiplayer is fun. I'm not a super die-hard gamer. Like, I'm not in the game to see like some really cool like levolution and everything like that. Like, I just want to be entertained. I want to play with some friends. I want to have fun, and in essence, I think that's what video games should be. I think people nowadays are way too strict in their interpretations of video games. It's a video game. It's a virtual reality that you can take a step away from the world and go into an old separate universe, and that's something that's really awesome. And I think that people are way too harsh on the game, because that's what a video game is. You play a video game to do whatever the heck you want. And that's definitely something that I really enjoy about this game. There are over a dozen maps with, I believe, there's free DLCs coming out, including the Battle of Crate and a whole another Last Jedi map pack coming out. So that's going to be super, super awesome. And I'm super, super excited for that nonetheless. There's 4 classes. There's Assault, there's Officer, there's Specialist, and then there's a Heavy. Obviously, Assault is like the main rifleman. The Heavy is like a heavy machine gunner. The Specialist is a sniper, and the Officer, well, it's an officer, pretty self-explanatory. You can choose from these guys, these different classes. As expected, guys, you can upgrade these guys. The more you play, the more credits and crafting parts you earned, and in turn, you can turn those crafting and credits into upgrades for your star cards. The other alternative is obviously what's going to be implemented in the game, which is going to be the microtransactions. But other than that, I really like how the idea of leveling up and kind of working for what you want. I really see a lot of people who haven't played a lot of hours, and you could visibly tell that. It's not that they're not good at the game, it's just that their cards aren't leveled up enough. For example, I haven't played many hours. I probably only played about 6 or 7 hours in the game, and my star cards, my perks, if you will, are not too upgraded, but they're also upgraded beyond the point of like a beginner. So again, that really level up system I really am a fan of. The microtransactions might ruin the game, I'm not sure about it, but that's, like I said before, I got into that before. The other thing that I like about the multiplayer is that it takes apart in different universes and different time periods. There's 3 universes and time periods. There is the Clones and the Separatists, the Clone Wars. Then you have the Galactic Empire against the Rebels, and then you have the Resistance against the First Order. And there's all maps from every single one. There's Kashyyyk, there's Kamino from the Clone Wars, and from the Galactic Empire era, there's Endor, and there's Fondor. There's a whole bunch of different maps, and then from the First Order era, there's actually Starkiller Base. So the maps themselves are really well made. They're nice and big. There's a lot of objective-based gameplay, which I'm a super fan of. And guys, really quickly, as a little bit of a last comment before we wrap things up here, it's a video game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a video game. You're supposed to have fun with it. You're not supposed to take it too seriously. It's not a professional game in any ways. Like, there's no pro scene for it, and for that reason, I really have to disagree with a lot of the flack that this game has been getting. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a fun game. I'll put it that way. $60 for a fun game that you can play with your friends, that you'll probably get at least over 20 hours of gameplay on it. You can't really complain about that, in my opinion. Although I do realize for some people, $60 is a lot of spend for a game that they're not confirmed about. So guys, I hope this video gave you a little bit of insight whether or not you want to get the game. As I said before, guys, I'd recommend getting it, especially if you could play with your friends. It's a beyond fun if you can get past some of the minor details and minor flukes about the game, which I really do think that EA will eventually fix, although that's a whole different story. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. I do want to apologize for this being a little bit of a longer video, and also for it being different from the normal LEGO videos that I have on my channel, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. Definitely leave a like, definitely subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Definitely drop a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think of the game below, and I'll see you next video. Peace.